Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is Friday. What happened to the music? It just cut out. Oh, there it is. There it is again. It's a little bit
just
of a glitch.
Took a break.
Yeah.
Just took a break.
Glitchy. That is Lachlan Cross, the voice you hear on the other side of the screen today. And Lachlan Cross, of course, the host of the Locker Room Morning Show at 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. He's wearing the hat, the swag, the radio station gear that he works at, giving his company big ups today on one of the most widely watched and listened to podcasts in the country. Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Good job. Your company would be incredibly proud of you right now. It's like, can you sneak in like the logo? Can you? Because I was on your show with you this week, and beautiful job, by the way. We talked about cutting sandwiches diagonally or crossways.
Oh, I don't even want to get into that. Grant and Jimmy, I think, are trying to put me in an early grave. They're trying to drive me crazy.
Well, they should. You deserve it.
How can you actually think that by cutting the sandwich diagonally, you get less crust? I'm like, what is wrong with you?
That's idiocy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I brought you on to defend my position.
I did.
I know you did.
Defended your position.
It was stupid. That's like saying we play more music in an hour. We play more music in an hour. I mean, anybody that hears that splitter goes, what? There's an hour.
All right.
How can you play more music?
You can't drop radio lingo on people on a public show like a podcast and expect people to understand what a stinger is. You can't really do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You're
old school. Baseball. You call them stingers still.
You just did. You just called it a stinger. That's what you called it.
Did not.
Yeah, you literally just said stinger in the middle. That's why I told you to not say it. A splitter, stinger, whatever. I don't care. Splitters, stingers, donuts. I mean, would you want to talk about the dumb shit that radio production? Do you want to get into that? Music beds? No? Bumpers? You want to talk about bumpers?
We play more variety.
We play more variety. Anyway, nice to see you. Of course, Lachlan Cross, 957 Cruise FM, and you can tell that he's looking at it on his hat. He's, but that is nice. That is a very nice thing to do for your company. It's a great company.
I like this.
Canada's only. Hang on, let me get through this. One of Canada's real radio companies. That's who you work for. What do you like again? What do you do?
The little, what do you call my Twitter thing?
Oh, Chiron.
Yeah.
Yeah, your handle. A Chiron. It's a little thing. It's in spooky because we got Halloween coming up. It's spooky Lachlan Cross, spooky Dean Blundell. Real quick before we get to Kim Kardashian's new ultimate nipple bra, before we get to Sophie Trudeau's new boyfriend, which is front page news today. Justin Trudeau's ex-wife now has a new boyfriend. Yeah, I am too. I'm happy for both of them. Before we get to the Squid Game challenge, before we get to the NHL's gambling issue, you doing Halloween this year? You wet blanket? You Halloween wet blanket?
I got a bit of a backstory on Halloween.
All right.
Okay, so
guaranteed it's, again, not a bit of a backstory, but go ahead. We just started. You've got time.
We'll start with my youth.
Okay.
When I was a child, I was raised...
Hang on.
Yeah,
can I just set the table for... Are we going like...
We're going back to
Lachlan,
70s.
super broke, living in a teepee, feeling sorry for Lachlan? Is that...
Hear me out. I'll try to move through the years quickly. As a young lad, when kids were dressing up in costumes like Kiss and Mutant Ninja Turtles and cool
Planet
stuff
of the
like
Apes.
that.
Remember that one? The Planet of the Apes, the mask that would cut your face. I had that one. I was Planet of the Apes guy.
See, you had cool parents.
Oh, yeah. Well,
see, I did not. See, we had no money, and I had a hippie for a mother who used to make my costumes. So one year, I went as Cat Stevens. Do you know who the fuck Cat Stevens is?
Yeah, I do. Cat Stevens is Youssef. I can't remember his name now, but his name was Cat Stevens, converted to a Muslim, and then just left the building. Like decided, I'm done with this music game at the height of his career. Yeah, I know who Cat Stevens is.
The next year, I went as a French painter. Then that was quickly followed up by Gandhi. And then one year, my mother decided to dress me up as Tootsie from that movie, Dustin Hoffman movie. Okay. So she destroyed a lot of holidays for me, Halloween being one of them. How do you explain to your friends you're Gandhi?
Let me go through the litany of Halloween outfits your mother made you wear. Gandhi, Cat Stevens.
Yeah.
A French painter? Is that what
Yeah,
you
I
said?
have pictures to back all this up.
And Tootsie? Why
Tootsie.
why did you not fucking bring them?
Okay, I didn't think we were talking
Well, you
about
should've.
Halloween today. So,
But hold it. I'm getting a common theme here. It's just, quote, shit your mom had lying around the house that she could robe you in. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay, good.
yes. It's exactly what this was.
She had a lot of bed sheets and towels and ropes.
And I had a skull cap, right? Like, what are you, Loch? I'm Gandhi. Who's Gandhi? I don't even know how to start that conversation when you're 8. Right? Like,
so is it resentment? Is that why you're down on Halloween and you don't give out the candies? Because I know you're not doing it this year. I know you're, again, a Halloween wet blanket.
Well, when the kids came along, I did what I could and to try to have fun with things that I knew the kids would like. Mm-hmm. So I did the good dad deeds, right? Yeah. I hated all the holidays. I hated Christmas. One year I got used cross country skis for Christmas. I mean, I grew up poor, right? So I fucking hate cross country skiing too. So anyway, I bought in and we had
so
fun.
Halloween was shit that was lying around the house, and Christmas was shit that one of your parents would find at the end of someone's driveway.
Kind of. Yeah, I got a used couch one year.
All right.
Okay, I was 12. What? Anyway, so as I got a little bit older and with the kids, I bought in. But once the girls were gone, I convinced the wife that we could just shut the lights off and not give out candy. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So we kind of hide and hope that no one rings the doorbell.
Figured.
So although this year, because Jimmy is dressing up as Chucky, I am trying to talk him into just standing on my porch in his Chucky outfit.
Shit out of people?
Yeah, with the lights off.
Feed him booze. He'll do it.
With the lights off and a chainsaw. And I just want him just to stand there. I gotta show you his Chucky outfit. It is so good.
Dude, just do it. He's a little person. He's a wonderful guy. He's a gamer. He also is down on his luck half the time. So if you give him a case of beer like a 50, guaranteed he'll do it. And he'll be able to give out the candy. Oh my God. He totally looks like Chucky.
He has a mask too. And I'm like, dude, don't even worry about the mask.
No. His face looks like 100 miles of bad road. He's got Chucky nailed in that outfit already. The mask. Kidding me?
So I just want him just to stand on my porch like that. Just don't even move. Just have a chainsaw in your hand running.
With like a box of candy, just throwing candy at kids. I don't see why you don't do it.
Why?
Dude, switch it up.
Why do I need that to happen?
Because you like to demean people. That's why. You like to shit all over the place.
That is not true. He just,
dude,
his decision.
Using him as a prop for your Halloween, it's not something a friend does. Okay. It just isn't. It just isn't. I'm just saying, I think it's a brilliant idea, and he'll probably do it for $50. And if you want to make it happen, you will make it happen.
Yeah.
Just don't be a cheap ass and give him some money and get a whole bunch of like real big candy bars. Don't get the little shitty candy bars. There's always the thing. You go to a house like that and they got the big candy bars, and you go to the next house and they give you a pencil. It's always such a letdown. It was like I get this spike of cheap ass anxiety every time someone give me a pencil or a notebook. We don't do candy. We just do pencils.
There was a dentist on our block in Blueberry Creek that used to give you toothbrushes and floss and toothpaste and stuff, and he got egged every year.
Yeah.
Anyway, one more story about Jimmy and using him as a prop.
Yeah.
One time the boss came to us and said, "Hey, we want the locker room to host the Pink Floyd Electric Light Show." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so we came up with an idea, and we didn't get to do it, but we decided we wanted to dress Jimmy in a diaper, pour blood over him, and just have him run through the alley like the run through the building that tell us World of Science or whatever.
Yeah.
Just screaming. The boss is like, no. I'm like, it'll be funny because there'll be a bunch of guys tripping balls, and then all of a sudden a little person naked, covered in blood, starts running through. And he's like, no, we can't do that.
I have a nervous system seizure just looking at that, hemped up on meth or fucking whatever they smoked or cracked that day, watching a little midget in a diaper covered in blood run past them screaming.
Enjoy the show, everyone.
Yeah,
we're the locker room.
See you all week. Anyway, nice to see you. We've got a very busy show for people today. Mailing it in. We mailing it in. I don't know if we're really mailing it in. I want to start with the breaking news that nobody talked about this week because everybody's too busy talking about other breaking news or telling you what breaking news is. Justin Trudeau's new ex-wife, Sophie Trudeau, has a boyfriend.
Yes.
I found this fascinating.
I did. Thank you. I did too.
Nobody's talking about it. Like the Prime Minister of Canada and his wife break up, right? Say what you want about it. I'm not going to get into the political stuff. I've been hammering away at it all week on Twitter. I'm not going to do it here today. And we had a massive podcast.
She's banging a doctor.
She's banging a surgeon.
Yeah.
Sophie Trudeau is getting it in with a very high-profile surgeon.
Finally getting some. Good
absolutely.
For her. I'm go get it, girl.
Really happy for her. But here's the problem. Can you see my screen? Sophie Gregoire Trudeau repartners with Ottawa doctor, ex-wife claims in divorce petition. So we're only finding out from the divorce petition. We're not finding out from anything else. We are finding out from the divorce petition that Sophie Trudeau, the then wife of now Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, after legally separated, has a guy. She's got a stickman. Dr. Marco Spatoli is his name. And in April...
Stickman.
Well, that's what he is. He's a stickman, right? In April, this doctor, Dr. Batoli, his wife filed a petition because she's pissed off that he's repartnered with a, quote, high-profile individual who attracts significant media attention and presents significant security considerations.
The ex-wife of the doctor's upset about this?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
She's super pissed. She's like, hey, listen, this is no good for me because of the security concerns and all the shit around it. Now, this doctor, he's a big swinging dick in the cracker factory. Dude's been like a surgeon in the Ottawa region, highly specialized. He's been doing it for a long period of time. And he and his wife split up. We don't know if there's overlap, but we do know that Trudeau and Sophie planned the split. The Trudeau split was announced August 2nd. And the interesting part of this split is this doctor's ex-wife, Anna Raimondo is her name, filed the petition saying, this is a problem for me and my kids with all the security and the heightened alert and the media attention for my new ex-husband's new girlfriend. It's a problem for us and the kids. She filed that in April, May, June, July, August. So there's 5 months. 5 months went by. So I don't know how they kept this a secret, but it's absolutely fantastic and nobody's talking about it.
What's this?
Nobody.
What's this now? What are you showing?
Here's the article in the National Post. Sophie Gregoire repartnered with Ottawa doctor. Ex-wife claims in divorce papers. Surgeon's ex-wife claims discomfort and security concerns over the new relationship months before the announcement of Trudeau's separation. Now, normally I wouldn't be sharing a National Post article because Post Media is owned by the mega crew U.S. hedge fund down in New Jersey, but we'll leave that aside for today because I don't feel like getting angry. But this is an absolutely true story. I've cross-referenced it all over the place. She still looks lovely. There's Trudeau with the Bidens. Everybody thought that was a nice time. That was in March prior to the separation or the actual official separation. But here's the interesting thing. Do you remember about 2 years ago, we started harping at the fact that Sophie just was never anywhere to be seen. Do you remember that? We were talking about it on the podcast. Sophie's nowhere to be seen. Can't find Sophie Trudeau. Where is Sophie Trudeau?
Well, that's right around the time that some of our beliefs about Justin may have been verified
Yes.
by people that don't show up on this podcast ever.
Yes.
Right. So that I think you and I were fascinated by that and the potential of that. And so that was also around the time that Justin took like a week off to go to the island with Sophia. Remember?
Sophie. Yeah. They went to Nanaimo and like all those people were chasing him around, trying to figure out where he's going. And they were having a nice glass of wine and a charcuterie board on a $7,000 a night in a $7,000 a night Airbnb or something. Yeah, I remember that. And who knows what they were doing. But these people, Justin and Sophie, they have not been together for probably 2 to 3 years. And they kept up appearances for a really, really long time. Well, and I have it on good authority
I think that
not
happens.
only, and this is all, and keep in mind, I am not like, this isn't like a gotcha moment for the prime minister and his wife. Good for them. I hope they were both getting it from other people. Don't care. This is marriage. This is life. These are relationships, all that other shit. But these two people have not been together for quite some time, and they have been getting it in with other people for at least 2 to 3 years. And I give them credit for keeping up appearances and not giving the other side ammo to be able to shit all over them, because this is what people do. It doesn't matter if you're prime minister or the prime minister's wife.
That's
for you. Doesn't matter.
That's a good way, Dean. That's a good way of looking at it.
Probably.
Giving them both credit for keeping their private lives private. They didn't drag it out into the public to try to hurt each other, right? Because he could have done that to her, and she could have definitely done that to him. So
absolutely,
you know what?
And cooler
they got
heads
kids.
have prevailed, and they've got 3
kids.
children, and they kept it above board for them. The interesting part as the story goes on, the doctor's ex-wife, Ramonda, 47-year-old stay-at-home mom, says she takes no position on her ex-husband's personal life. Says the new relationship created unspecified security concerns to which the children are exposed. You can understand that with the amount of people that hate Justin Trudeau. Anna had thought the parties had reached an agreement with the children would not interact with the new partner, but Marcos has not respected that. So she's met the kids. Isn't that nice? And has caused the children discomfort and anxiety. She further claims in the application, Batoli, who works at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, CHEO, big hospital, in his reply to the divorce application, said that Ramonda's attitude towards his new relationship is not in the children's best interest. So it sounds like she's being a little snarky, is what it sounds like. Sounds like she's like, it's too early. It's too early. But it creates an interesting conversation too, right? Like if you being you who you are, decide that you're going to take up with, let's just say you see Sophie at a Tool show. You went to Tool last week. By the way, I want to talk about that show. She shows up. She gets a look at this Lachlan cross and his cruise hat. And she's like, I want a piece of that. And you're like, okay. And then you guys get together. You shine Deb. You and Sophie are now an item. You're telling your friends. All of a sudden, the paparazzi's coming around. Everything's going on. You get no privacy. You get people chasing you down. You got to have weekend rendezvous at like Meech Lake and all that other stuff. Would you be able to do it? Would you be able to? Keep in mind, she's probably worth about $40 million, which is half of what Justin Trudeau's worth. Would you be able to be Sophie Trudeau's stick man? I don't know if I would. I don't think I could. I think I like my privacy too much. This guy is going to give it up. But I will say this, is that if it works out for these two, great catch. He's prime minister.
There's a litany of reasons why that's never going to happen for me. One is maintenance of my pubic area. Or should I say lack of maintenance? She gets a look at that.
Maybe she likes the hairy guys.
Okay, all right. I never thought of it that way. But
exactly. Maybe that's
like I've given up on that a long time ago.
I love a man with a lot of pubic hair. Maybe that's
it's an island down there.
Weed whacker away to that thing. It's an island down there. I'd like to weed whack my way to that thing. Maybe we should, but continue. There's a lot of reasons why she wouldn't, but yeah, we get those. It's a tough one.
I don't know if I would be up for. First off, I've always been absolutely amazed at men and women who take on extracurricular relationships. Like, I've never understood that. I've had a couple of friends that have jumped into that area, right? And
you mean have cheated on their spouses?
Yes, and you know about it, and everyone kind of knows about it, and there's a conversation, and
nobody says anything. It's all uncomfortable and weird. Dinner parties, stuff like that. Yeah, where you're like, See those two, they're married, but that guy's banging that girl over there. Yeah, I get it.
Well, and I've even been in buildings where like management is banging somebody like the secretary and they're married and everyone knows. And I'm always shocked at like why would you do that to yourself? It just seems like so much, it's too much work. Do you know what I mean? Like it's enough work just to keep one relatively happy, right?
Yeah,
and I've sort of always sort of maintained that thought that I'll work on that one, working on two, trying to hide one.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare. Like
Isn't
is just a nightmare, right?
Oh, dude, you know what?
And that's say a lot about, I think we're very, you and I are both very judgmental of Justin, right? Yes. But if you take a look at the possibility that this has been happening behind the scenes for 2 years, regardless of fault, right? Whether or not he, and I would be willing to bet a large sum of money that he's equally to blame for whatever difficulties they had that led to the decision not to continue as a couple.
Right.
And I think reasonable human beings, when they get to a point where they're deciding to break up and move on, reasonable human beings
make reasonable decisions for the best interest of everybody in the company.
Yeah, but look back at the situation and go, all right, like, okay, she did this, I did this, she did this, I did that. You're probably both equally to blame for the disintegration of the relationship, right?
Correct.
So if you take a look at what he's gone through and how the struggles he's had, and I don't feel sorry for him, the struggles that he has had as a leader, maybe a lot of this, a lot of what he's been going through in his personal life has sort of seeped into his professional life.
Maybe they just wanted to bang other people. Like there's that too. Maybe they just got sick of each other's shit. Maybe it was the fact that she decided to break into song during a campaign event at a UN Martin Luther King Day. Maybe it was that.
I've heard.
Maybe remember that?
Helping out each other.
Because this would have done it for me if I was married to this woman.
No,
I swear to God. This was the most. She was taken out of commission.
No, don't.
Yeah, no. This is when she decided. No, you listen to this and you listen to it. Good. This is when she disappeared from everything to do with Justin Trudeau. It was like 3 years ago. She goes and sings some weird fucking song at the UN's Martin Luther King Day, the United Way, and she's just going for it. After this, the embarrassment factor was at 12, and he was like, "I'm out." I think this had something to do with it.
No, I love this. This is awesome. This gives me a bit of a guilt boner. Like I feel bad about having a boner right now, but I have one.
The day that we will say goodbye.
There we go.
That's
Sophie.
why I cheer for Sophie.
Yeah, I do too. She doesn't care. You know what? I will say this.
Because she's legitimately insane.
Because they totally. And they have been crushing other people for the past 2-3 years. And can I tell you, in a world where everybody wants all the information about these two, in this country, everybody wants something on these guys.
Yeah.
What a fucking masterful job of keeping it quiet.
Yes.
Like, masterful job. If she's been getting it in with the doctor, the good doctor, and he's been getting it in somewhere else with someone else for the past several years, which on good authority, I do have that. Good for them. Good for them for hiding it. Good for them for protecting everybody in their family. Good for them for getting laid. Good for them. Right? Is there anything else to say? I don't think there is.
You know what? Honestly,
you can opine about who they might be banging or who he might be banging.
I will say that
you can talk about that all you like. I will not. Well, what I will say this is that it doesn't matter who they're with. One of the most famous couples in the world managed to run a private train on millions and millions and millions of people who want nothing but that information. And that was masterful. Good for them. I would trust them both with secrets.
It also cost us a lot of money.
How?
Well, they got to have security detail and whatnot to hide that kind of shit.
Yeah, it went up 30 million over the past 2 years, by the way, security detail. So that might be it. Just so she could get laid. That's a very expensive screw.
It costs more. It costs more when you're dicking somebody behind the scenes. When you're
so. Yeah,
when you're the first lady of Canada.
Not anymore. Now she's just a surgeon's girlfriend. That's cool.
She'll still get security.
Oh yeah, she will for the rest of her life. By the way,
Yeah.
as will the kids. Something I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Maybe if I bang Justin Trudeau, I might get security too. Anyway.
By the way, I just noticed something you put on the DM. We don't need to talk about it, but I didn't see your response to me saying, "Look, Soph is getting a little cack on the side."
What did I say? Hang on, let me see what I said.
Don't say it out loud.
Here we go. What did you say? Looks. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Everybody's getting something, right? At this point, everybody's getting something, and I'm happy for everybody. I hold no grudges. I don't care what anybody does. I thought if you want to get it in, get it in. If you want to be happy, be happy.
Going on it. Jump on that pony.
You know what else made me jump on the pony? You know what else made me happy? Did you see the launch? I listen. I'm only familiar with Skims in the past, like Skims, the new Kim Kardashian line of clothing.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Skims is actually clothing.
Yeah, listen, Kim Kardashian, say what you like about her. You can say that she hasn't done anything for humanity, blah, 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 blah. And she's just a reality TV star. The woman's worth like $2.5 billion, and she's got the biggest underwear line in the world. It's called Skims. Like, I think it's bigger than Spanx now.
I knew that they were into stuff like that, but I didn't know. If you would have asked me what Skims was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
Yeah, Skims is like underwear made for men and women. They make them for men too. And this is her line. She came up with it. And it's stuff that accentuates different parts of your body and stuffs all the fat in too. It's like Spanx, right? And so she likes to do the optical illusion underwear line, right? Like it's like, hey, ladies, this is where like Lululemons. You know, Lululemons make almost every ass look terrific, except for the asses that can't be terrific in anything. Same thing. So Skims is interesting because she just launched this thing a couple years ago. It's a multi-billion-dollar brand now. It's in every high-end store. It's actually the price points are pretty good. I know this because my significant other is a big fan of this stuff. And I saw this today. She just launched this new thing called the Ultimate Nipple Bra, where it is a bra that comes with built-in nipples. Like it comes with, which is odd, and I want to get to that in a second. Let's watch the commercial 7 to 12 times and have a look together.
The Earth's temperature is getting hotter and hotter. The sea levels are rising. The ice sheets are shrinking. And I'm not a scientist, but I do believe everyone can use their skill set to do their part. That's why I'm introducing a brand new bra with a built-in nipple. So no matter how hot it is, you'll always look cold. Some days are hard, but
I need a drink.
These nipples are harder. And unlike the icebergs, these aren't going anywhere. The Skims Ultimate Nipple Bra.
Here's my thought on the nipple thing. Because what if you don't put it on right?
What do you mean? There's only one way you put on a bra. Like if you put it on backwards,
well,
is that what you're saying?
Can it be a little askew? Like
I'm sure it can if you're not familiar with wearing bras. It could probably be a little askew, but no, these are bras.
Are the nipples adjustable? Like, can you move it around so that they're in the right spot?
I don't know. I'll just read you the actual outline of what this Ultimate Nipple Bra is. It's perfect fullness with built-in faux nipples for shock factor. Meet the newest innovation of our Ultimate Bra collection Tuesday, October 31st. Get on the wait list. And she's also socially responsible with this nipple bra. She's giving 10% of all sales to some fucking environmental organization business thing. Who cares? But I like it. I like it not because I'm a warm-blooded Canadian male who's
you're also a boob guy.
Huge.
I've learned that about you.
Yeah.
I'm an ass man.
Yeah, I'm there too. I'm both. I appreciate, some would say, worship the female form. That's how I've always been. Big fan. If I can get some time with it, I enjoy it. However, I like what she's doing here for a couple of reasons. One is I don't know about you, but I grew up with the idea that if a woman showed her nipples in public, she was probably trolling, or she was a secular woman. She was a woman that was out looking for some sex. She was out there showing her stuff. Oh, yeah. That's why women cover their nipples all the time, dude. That's the thing. Like, it's a real thing. And in the past like 10, 15 years, 20 years, the nipples become like this rallying cry for women, for feminists, and to bring back the idea that women can do whatever they want with their nipples. And if you want to have that nipple look all the time, but you also need a bra, right? Because sometimes women are like, hey, I want to show the nipples, but those things are down here. I don't want to show nipples in and around my navel. So this is a wonderful idea because she's telling women, hey, listen, I'm going to help you with that optical illusion business again that Skims is all about. And I'm going to give you nipples when you don't have them, need them, want them, because you want people to see how proud you are of your nipples. And I like that about her too. I'm all positive today, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Very positive. Very positive about cheating. Very positive about nipples. I'm really showing my true colors.
I'm not like if I see somebody out in public,
yeah,
and they're not wearing a bra and you can see the nipples, I'm not offended, and I don't have some sort of opinion about that woman. Like, I don't think she's a whore or an SLUT because she's got her nipples out. I've never thought that, and I don't care. I do find it weird that you would want to present that look all the time if it wasn't a natural thing. That's why I don't understand slapping them into a bra to make it look like you've got the nipple boners all day.
Yeah. I don't either, but it's because you and I are 50 and times are a-changing.
Okay.
And women are saying now the sexual empowerment movement is feminist to the core. Nipples are the rallying cry for the secular effort to make
fine, but I'm just saying
great
the fake,
again. And you can have a look at these nipples that she's got built into the bra. Sure, are they fake? Sure. Is this going to be a letdown guy when he peels that thing off and he sees, hey, that's not real? I don't know. That's not your concern. Your concern is, if you're a man, your concern is not your concern. This is her concern. This is every woman's concern. She wants to make those nipples 24/7. Those nipples are 24/7. Doesn't matter the temperature outside. I was just unaware that women loved this look. Like, I had no idea that this was a thing. I really didn't. 100% to your point.
So you're saying they like that this is something that women go for. They go for that. For the I'm showing the nipple look.
I had to ask someone I trusted, is this a real thing? Yep. She's like, yeah, totally a real thing. And I'm like, are nipples like the new deal? Like, are they? And she goes, yeah, they're about female empowerment. And they're also about women who just don't give a shit anymore. Like, there's that whole free the boob thing. Then it went to free the nipple. This is just free the nipple 24/7. That's all it is. It's a statement as well as a way to go trolling for guys at the bar. And I happen to think it's cool.
See, that's for me, like, I don't look at it as them trying to tempt the opposite sex, though, right? Like, do you think that's what that is? And I'm like, dude, I'm not out there. I'm not a player.
I was told that women like to free the nipple because they want people to see the nipple, and they're probably not getting other women to look at their nipples, right? If depending on their gender specificity and what they're into, maybe they are. They want somebody to see the nipples.
Okay, I am learning a lot today.
Isn't that interesting?
This is a very, very educational podcast for me.
I know. I feel really good about it today. I feel really good about where we're at.
Where are you at with Kim Kardashian?
What do you mean?
Because
I think she's attractive.
Listen, I think she's beautiful. I've never understood. It's kind of the Taylor Swift thing for me. Do I appreciate the fact that she can write a song and it's catchy? Yes. I don't get the level of like fame that she's achieved with what she does. And I have a similar feeling about Kim Kardashian. I find her backside to look a little, I don't know. I like a nice
You think
booty.
her ass is too big? You think her ass is too weird?
It doesn't look
too
right.
Engineered. Yeah, it's because it's engineered. You don't like it because it's engineered.
I know. And I find that unappealing. And I know she's beautiful. I get that. I just don't understand the fascination for her. Like,
what you don't understand? Because she's
the level of fascination.
She's one of the, she's like stunning. She's beautiful.
Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I understand. There's a lot going on there. She's got a lot of engineering. She's got it. And by the way, I happen to find natural women much more attractive
See,
than
that's
engineered women. Like I
that's
like
what I'm
the
saying.
imperfections. I don't want a perfect woman. I want a woman to be herself. I want her to look good. I want her to feel good. I want that confidence to be that confidence all the time.
Yeah.
And someone that engineers all this, in my mind, there's something too inauthentic about it. But if Kim Kardashian came around, which she's not going to, and if Kim Kardashian was like, I'm really into like unattractive 50-year-old white dudes, Dean, I want to give you a shot at the belt, I'd be like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in, but I might have a seizure after. I just want to see how it works.
Like
Yeah,
I saw
probably
a picture of Meg Ryan. She's like 60. I saw a picture of her the other day,
Yeah.
and they did a side by side. And my God, she looks great. And I always thought she was just unbelievably sexy.
Meg Ryan, yeah.
Yeah, like
Sleepless in Seattle. Meg Ryan was one of the most, and cute too. It wasn't even just hot.
cute. And
Cute.
yeah, and real. Like she just felt like someone you want to go have a drink with, right?
Yeah.
Hang out with. You know,
Absolutely. No, I think I give her full credit. Anyway, the bra launch is on the 31st. We're not being paid for it. That is not an ad. I just wanted to show you her in that nipple bra. Times have changed so much. That's the thing.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that would have been
wear
unheard of
would you
back
wear something that would enhance your package?
No, but that's what they make the push-up gitch for. Like, the gitch with the pouch in the front where all your stuff sits in there. That's what I wear. Gitch makes them. My buddy Ed's Fine Imports, show sponsor. Got to get these things. They're like a push-up bra for your nutsack.
But would you wear a pair of underwear?
Yeah.
That, I don't know, showed the knob of your dick.
You mean a pair of underwear that came with a built-in helmet?
Knob.
Like, is that what you're saying?
Built-in knob. Like, did it just
No.
kind of like
No, because I go to great lengths to hide that stuff. Like I don't want to be walking around and have someone go,
See, that's
I could give you a physical through your pants.
That's why I'm a little bit concerned.
Exactly.
Like not concerned,
Well,
but I
double
find
standard.
the bra thing a little weird.
Well, that's because we're not women. Women, that's a very different. It's a very double standard.
Don't wear a bra. Wear a bra.
But you grew up in the 80s. You've sported camel toe for a reason, right? You used to wear jorts. You still do.
I actually miss the cutoff jeans.
I'm sure you do.
Like I would bring cutoffs back if I had that kind of power.
Tight cutoffs. Would you bring super tight cutoffs back?
I would.
I would.
I miss the cutoffs.
Worst looks ever. That's like no one misses the cutoffs, dude. But those are coming back too. So are bell bottoms. You know what else is coming back? Squid Game season 2. And I don't know if you know this. They actually have a reality TV show called Squid Game: The Challenge coming in about a month.
Okay, fuck off. Now hold on.
Yeah.
When we talked about this the other day, I said to Grant, I said we were supposed to have Dean on this morning to talk about Squid Game, and then I flipped the script and ended up fighting about sandwiches and how you cut them for 10 minutes. But that was the reason why you were coming on. And then we brought it up later in the show, and Grant goes, it's not the show. They're not doing a Squid Games 2. It's just a reality show. And I'm like, I'm out. I liked the show. I don't want to see a bunch of actual people competing and then fake dying.
You don't? I do, because like a new report came out on this thing this week. That's Squid Game: The Challenge. It's called Squid Game: The Challenge. As you can see, Squid Game: The Challenge, which you can follow along with on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show, Crier Media on YouTube, or you can follow along on Twitch, Twitter, etc. This is a real deal, dude. You've got legitimate people partaking. 456. It's a knockoff of the actual show. 456 people. Netflix is bringing back this show with 456 normies competing for real money between $4 and $5 million. And it went terribly, like so bad. They're competing for 4.56. And if you've seen the show, it's literally like a bunch of people sleeping on bunk beds that are like 4 or 5 stories high. You've got almost 500 people in one room. They break each other into groups, and they got to do things like Red Rover. And if they don't get across the line, they get shot. They got to walk across a glass bridge. And if they don't step on the right piece of glass, they fall like, 500 feet to their death. And this apparently was such a mental grind for people. Like people that actually took part in doing Squid Game, the challenge, the reality TV show, that they said, quote, "It was the cruelest, meanest thing I've ever been through." One former contestant told Rolling Stone, "We were in a human horse race and they were treating us like horses out in the cold racing, and the race was fixed. All the torment and trauma we experienced wasn't due to the game or the rigor of the game. It was the incompetencies of scale. They bit off more than they could chew." Apparently, almost half of the contestants that were in this Squid Game thing had to go to therapy after.
Okay, I'm in now. I'm in now. I thought the last thing I want to watch is them trying to recreate a show about people not completing challenges and then actually dying, right? And then turning that into some fake version of the show just to sort of capitalize on the success of it internationally. And I just thought that's going to be awful. Why? I don't want to watch that. But now, if they were actually really cruel to them,
oh yeah, they were apparently terrible. 4 former players have detailed their experiences to Rolling Stone. Contestants were forced to play the show's red light, green light game in inhumane conditions, spending up to 9 hours outside in a freezing airport hangar, unable to move for 30-minute stretches. Medics were rushing to tend to people who were unable to take the extreme cold, or others who collapsed and had seizures. All requested that their names be withheld. They previously said in a statement only 3 sought medical attention, but the number is thought to be much higher than that. And there were other people that said former players claimed some contestants appeared to be pre-selected in advance, saying the whole thing was absolutely rigged, and they were pissed off. Of course, all of the reality TV shows are rigged. What a bunch of whiny contestants! What a bunch of babies! You get a chance to compete for $4.5 million, and you literally have to be hospitalized because it was too cold outside, or they were too mean to you.
You're into this? You're gonna watch this?
Yes, fuck, dude. This is. I am so excited for this show. I'm more excited for this show than any show coming out at all, and I'm really excited for the creator. By the way, watch The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix if you want to get a chance to see a great show. That's a great show.
What is it? Hold on, let me write that down.
Fall of the House of Usher.
The Fall of the House of What's that about?
Usher. It's about making a deal with death. You got to watch it. It's phenomenal. You'll love it. Fall of the House of Usher. But outside of that, this is one of the most legitimately interesting shows that I want to watch, because I watched Squid Game 3 times. I never rewatch series, and I had to rewatch Squid Game 3 times because I'm like, what's the fucking
I really like that show
I've ever seen. And it was only like that until I watched another 5 shows of something else. I'm like, that's the best show I've ever seen, because that's how I am. But it was phenomenal. And I started thinking when I'm watching the show like you, I'm like, this would be so easy to do. They got a bunch of money in a ball. It sits in the middle of this room. Everybody's vying for it. People are getting killed left, right, and center. But they apparently made it so difficult for people, the conditions so inhumane, that legitimately people lost their minds. Who doesn't want to watch that? That's reality.
I'm in now.
Of course you are.
I'm in. And where did they film it?
I don't know.
Do you know?
No idea. No
because
idea. It looks like it's in the States, because you've got a
the
bunch
trailer.
of people
The trailer was all English people.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that I was confused by, because I didn't read anything about it. You sent me the trailer and said, watch this. And then I watched it and I was like, okay, I'm in, but it's English. They've shifted it. It's English now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't remember seeing the people getting hit with paintballs. And I'm like, maybe it's just one of the games, because in the actual show, I mean, people were dying, and they did a really good job of making it look like they were dying too, right? So I did not know that that's where they were going with the show. That's very interesting.
Exactly, right? And then you get the backstory of how people lost their minds, and you're like, I have to watch this show. They guaranteed they wanted people to know that too.
I know I'm a bad person for thinking this, but
that was the clincher.
I'm in now. When I found out it was a reality show, I'm like, I'm out. But now you drag me back in, now that people were losing their minds.
Yeah. Speaking about, I want to finish the show today because the NHL done fucked up. You see the story on this kid from the Ottawa Senators who got suspended for gambling too much? His name's Shane Pinto. He's a forward for the Senators, much ballyhooed guy. He's like a top 6 dude, really good hockey player. The NHL suspended this kid, for 41 games. 41 games for violating, quote, league gambling rules. Multiple sources told Sportsnet. If you go to crier.co, you can check it out. Our hockey writer Blaine Potvin did a great story on it. The National Hockey League said it announced that it has suspended NHL player Shane Pinto 41 games, activities relating to sports wagering. The league's investigation found no evidence, though. This is interesting. No evidence that Pinto made any wagers on NHL games. None. The NHL considers the matter closed, they said, absent from the emergence of information. They will have no further comment. And that made Shane Pinto the very first NHL player banned for sports gambling since the 40s. When 3 players were banned because they were betting on their games, and they got kicked out of the games. And they got kicked out of the league for 41 games. So Shane responds with, I want to apologize to the National Hockey League, the Ottawa Senators, my teammates, fans, City of Ottawa, most importantly, my family. I take full responsibility for my actions and look forward to getting back on the ice with my team. And the NHL released their statement, which was brought to you by FanDuel, Bet365, DraftKings, and Betway.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But I find this incredibly fucking weird. The reason why I find it weird is because every single NHL broadcast in this country, in the United States, both sides of the border, is brought to you by Betano, Bet365, and these are deals they have with the NHL. FanDuel, Betway, Bet99. The Ottawa Senators are sponsored. Their helmet sponsor is Bet99. I also find it odd that he got suspended when the league admitted that it was not betting on NHL games at all. Wasn't betting on any of them. Wasn't betting on his games. Wasn't betting on any NHL games. And I do not know the rules. I tried to look it up. I do not know the rules of what NHL players are allowed to bet on. But I find the lack of information bizarre for that length of suspension. And I find the quiet attitude of the NHL and the Ottawa Senators and the NHLPA fucking weird. Because if he's not betting on his own games, if he's betting on the NFL, if he's betting on Highlight, some obscure fucking soccer game in the Middle East, if he's betting on baseball, and the team has a deal and the league has a deal with that betting sponsor where they're telling people go and bet on these games and other games with every chyron, every banner ad, their fucking helmets. What did he do? Or is it just like legitimate commerce hypocrisy on behalf of the NHL? Like, what did he do? Did he bet too much? Because the idea is
no, he was betting on his own games. To bet.
Guaranteed. So there we go. Now I talked to someone in the NHL's. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. I talked to someone today who knows, and they said this smells. The reason why they say it smells is because of something you just said, and what we're talking about is that, well, if he didn't bet on his games and he got suspended for 41 of them, what was he betting on? We're not talking about it. Matter's closed. Deal's done. Forget it. Well, what was he betting on? What did he do wrong? If you're advertising the partnership with these different betting companies, players are allowed to place bets anytime they want. They talk about it. Fantasy, real money, doesn't matter what it is. What did he do? Did he bet too many times? Did he bet at the wrong time of day? Did he take a crowbar to some guy? Was he betting illegally? I mean, what did he do? And to your point, the gentleman I spoke with today said the only out is he was betting on NHL games.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have been. So
that is
someone's lying.
We've talked about this before. It's the mafia, man. The hockey, they've got their shit locked down really tight. And things are slipping out now a little bit more just because of the state of the world that we live in, right? I mean, we all have one of these strapped to our hips. It's interesting. For me, the telltale sign is his statement.
Shane Pinto's statement?
Shane's statement.
Yeah.
That was not written by him. It was written by his lawyers. And there was a backroom deal. They sat in a room and they said, okay, you got caught. We got definitive proof.
Caught doing what?
He got caught betting on hockey, and so they sat down and they legit said, here's how we're going to handle this, because we don't want this in the press. We don't want this to we're going to say, this is what we're going to say. You're going to eat the 41 games. You're going to send out a nice little statement about how you're grateful that you're going to be able to come back, and we're all going to walk away, and hopefully it'll just get swept under the rug and we don't have to worry about it.
It's got to be it.
I'd bet my car on it.
I can't see any other solution. I legitimately can't. Like, you read
it doesn't
through
add
his
up.
statement, which is like, sorry, I'm embarrassed.
You're telling me
you read through the NHL statement, where like,
you're telling me there's no hockey players right now that don't bet on football?
Guaranteed. I can, you know what? Here's the other thing. I can guarantee NHL players are betting on their own games. I can guarantee NFL players are betting on their own games. They opened up that fucking can of worms and everybody jumped in. Everybody was like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. Dude, it's like anything else. You open that door, everybody's going to do it. And I find it absolutely
sports guys
ridiculous that they're lying to us with these competing statements saying he's just like, this 41 games. It's not like a 5-game suspension or a 10-game. That's half the fucking season. You don't suspend a player, one of the best players on that team, because he didn't gamble on his games or NHL. You suspend him because, oops, for 41 games, he did something terrible.
Yeah.
Or you'd like to think he did. And on top of it, and I get that, listen, if he bet on his games, he should be suspended for 41 games. Pete Rose has been suspended for fucking life from baseball for betting on his games. For life. So the lack of information is one thing, but the idea that we're idiots is something totally fucking different, on top of the commerce that they do in the betting world. It's wild to me. It doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense that they have welcomed that money with open arms. It makes no sense they'd suspend a player for betting on everything but his games. If they've welcomed that industry with open arms because they want that money. Makes no sense.
There's a ton of hypocrisy in the world that we live in. I think it's absolutely ridiculous in the world that we live in now to assume that your players on any professional franchise, I don't care what it is, half of them are major gamblers. Everybody that I know that's into sports is a chronic gambler. All of them. That guy you golf with every Sunday all summer long, gambler. That guy that plays hockey, like he's still playing, he's 45 years old. He's still playing men's league, gambler. That guy that gets up Sunday morning, turns on the TV to watch football, he's a casual fan. Gambler.
But that's fine.
Everybody I know that's a sports donkey that's into sports is into gambling. They all are. Good. And you're telling me that these guys that play these sports are they're just, oh, you know what? I don't want to get caught. I'm not going to do it.
I bet on everything but the game. Yeah, come on, dude. They all do. We all know they do. I talk to guys that do. It's unbelievable.
They do it. They all do it.
If everybody is, and here's the thing. If the NHL is going to decide when we've legalized gambling really in this province, right? We've legalized online sports betting. We've legalized sports books in this province. Some other provinces have not. But this province, they have. And if he is legally allowed to bet on those games, right? And if that team is legally allowed to take money and legally allowed to put Betway on their helmet or Bet99 on their helmet, if you're legally allowed to incentivize people, your fans, with promo codes in emails to your fans, saying, and don't forget to sign up for FanDuel. You can bet on these games. If you're going to put
but hold on.
Hang on. This is the thing. In the NHL, they put on the ticker and on the board and on broadcasts of the games, they'll put the odds for who's going to score next so you can quickly place a bet with their partner in game. And you're telling me that you're going to penalize players for that? You got to be fucking kidding me. Dude, they all know. And I feel sorry for the kid as much as you can feel sorry for a 22-year-old multimillionaire. I feel sorry for the dude. I really do. Because the NHL,
I don't know about
they've
that.
tied this up so tight.
Just
It's crazy.
just because you take money, you know what I mean? Like, you've got aviation gin all over the Wrexham kits. Does that mean the players are allowed to drink while they're playing? No.
Yes, I think they do. It's like second, third division. I'm pretty sure most of them are wasted.
I kind of get your point, and I understand the hypocrisy of it, but
Total.
I also don't think it's necessarily an out because they're taking money. I'm not angry at the NHL for taking money, but then suspending some kid for gambling. I think the bigger issue here is that they do this stuff behind the scenes without really giving everybody the information.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to rationalize a 41 game suspension. And then he just makes a nice little apology. And then they go, he wasn't gambling on fucking hockey. Fuck bullshit. What do you think? We're stupid? Like, come on. People are not stupid. They're not.
They do. They totally think we're idiots. They think they could put out a statement saying, we just suspended one of the best players on the Ottawa Senators for gambling for 41 games, which is like a fucking
That's a huge.
And then he says, sorry to my family. And we're supposed to just go, oh, yeah, he wasn't betting on hockey. Are you fucking joking?
That was probably lacrosse. Come on.
That's the thing, man. They take us all for idiots, right? The NHL is one of the worst at it. The NFL is probably a close second. They think we're stupid.
NFL's bad.
They think we're morons. The NHL and Gary
over.
Bettman legitimately think that we're morons, and we're just going to read that and go, guess nothing to see here. Let's just hope for the best. Like, I mean, seriously. Here's the thing. This is gonna lead to more. Like, this was a warning to the rest of the league. They took Shane Pinto to the woodshed in public, and then they shut it down for a reason. And the reason why is because he wasn't just betting on other
bigger
sports.
Part of this, right? That backroom discussion that we were just highlighting was, here's how this is going to play out. And the Players Association is in the room with them. His lawyer's in the room with him, right? His dad's in the room with him. Bettman's in the room. Who's the second in command?
Bill Daly.
Bill Daly's in the room, right? And they're sitting down and they're having a discussion, and they get people in. Okay, all right, bring in Sarah. She's going to draft your thing. Everybody gets to check it out. This is how we're going to sell this, right? It's not as much to bamboozle the fans. Like, the fact that we're shocked that they're lying to us is not the reason why they're doing it. They're not like, we're gonna put one by the old fans today. No, they're doing it. You're right. You nailed it. This was a message. This was a shot across the bow to the rest of the players. Because even dumb hockey players know they're not that dumb. They know. They went, Shane Pinto got 41 games? All right, somebody go delete that app off my phone
now, and get my credit card receipts and burn them. Do it now. Yeah, totally. 100%. You're 100% right. There is no way. There is no way he was only betting on one thing, and it wasn't this thing. Okay. There's no way he got suspended 41 games. The most lengthy suspension for gambling since 1940 in the game. And the last time someone got suspended this much were three dudes. Like, this is back when they named kids Babe. You know what I mean? This is like Babe Dyer and Slick Hands Rick got suspended in 1940. And you know why they got that suspension? You know why it was 41 games? Because they got fucking caught gambling on their own games.
On the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Well, and the other thing is too, this is the funny part about this as well, is that there was also another conversation too. It was with their wives who have the account for them.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Honey. Can you put in
Brittany?
I want the Bills. I want the Rangers. Take the over in the game.
Pinto just got 41 games. I don't want you talking to Sarah or your mother. Do you realize how important this conversation is? You need to shut your pie hole. It doesn't leave this house.
If anybody finds out that 69er is me and not you, honey, we're in trouble. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that Slut Wheels 44, that account can't be us. It can't come
Stop
back to
crying.
me.
Stop crying,
Stop
Brittany.
crying.
I'll buy you an Audi.
Anyway, congratulations, NHL. You look like fucking idiots.
I think that the rainbow colored stick tape is that's even worse. Now they're allowed to
They
use
took
it.
that. Well, that's the other thing. Great week for the
So
NHL.
Stupid.
Yeah, one player, Travis McDermott, who plays
Good
in
for him.
Arizona in front of like 12 people. He puts pride tape on his stick after the pride tape ban happens, which never should have happened. We've been pretty vocal about that. It was fucking so ridiculous
So
because the
stupid.
NHL has a rule that says you can put whatever colored tape on your stick you want, fill it up, and they're like, except pride tape. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You don't
Travis
think people are going
McDermott,
to talk about
what?
that?
Game like 4, McDermott puts it on his stick, and
Good
the
for him.
NHL's like, all right, we'll release the ban.
It's
What a
going to look
fucking
bad if we
joke.
fine you.
What?
Now we're going to look homophobic if we fine you.
Yeah. What
And
are we
he
gonna
had
do?
that conversation with somebody.
I know.
You know what? I'm going to put this on my stick tonight.
See what
You
happens.
think they'll find me? And
I'm
then
in
everyone
Arizona. They
started
might not
laughing.
even see it. So there's that part. And then the other part
That's
is
a
like,
5,000 seat bar day.
we'll just, yeah, yes, it's a university rink. It's like going to Centennial Arena close to where I live. I'm like, seriously, that's like a community hall. Good for you.
Oh
But
my God.
I love the move. I thought it was great. And with that, the pride tape ban was over. The NHL slowly just rescinded the ban.
Yeah.
Because they decided they can't be publicly hateful of the LGBTQ people anymore. And they're like, we gave it a shot. Fucking what a joke.
Wild the mistakes they're making. That's why I think a lot of the decision behind this Shane Pinto thing was like you said, was a shot across the bow for the other players, right?
Well, they can't
So-
brand pride tape twice, so they got to do something.
Well, I got to give I do a weekly hit on the locker room with Bag Milk from Oilers Nation.
Yeah.
Which is a group in town locally that they do a pretty good job of they do an amazing job of following. the
Hey,
Oilers.
listen, I'll tell you this. Oilers Nation is one of the best, most well-attended blog networks in the world, believe it or not.
They're
Just so
awesome.
you know. Yeah, they
and
do
I
a
love
great
Bag
job.
Milk. We love having him on. And like I said, we do a weekly hit with him. And they do these trips. They do these nation vacations, they call them.
Mhm.
And they did one to they're doing one to Seattle. So that one's sold out. And then they're doing one to Arizona to go to that barn.
Sold out?
I don't know if when we talked about it on Wednesday, it was just about to be released, and that one will sell out. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
Get on a plane with a bunch of Oiler fans and fly down and see a game in Arizona in a 5-seater.
Yeah, dude. And Arizona is an awesome place. If you haven't, I was in Arizona this year for like 10 days. It was incredible. You'll love it. It makes no sense there's a hockey team there.
A lot
Zero.
of people.
Great Cheesecake Cafe across from the rink, though.
A lot of people take the money they would have spent on a couple of nights at an Oilers game in town, and they just throw it in their bank account, and then they go on like week-long trips and see the entire like leg of a tour. I swear to God, and it's cheaper for them to fly to Los Angeles, San Jose,
Yeah.
Arizona, and then home and see 3 games than it would be to see one game in town.
Mm-hmm. No, dude,
Right?
same thing here. I remember when
Yeah.
the Leafs were in the playoffs last year. You had people flying down to Tampa, like the Leaf fans flying down to Tampa with their
Flights, hotel,
everything. It was like
tickets
half
to
the
the
price,
game,
half the price to
half the
see
cost to go to a
game.
game in town.
Easily, half the price, including tickets, airfare, food, booze, hookers, blow, all the stuff you do when you go down to Florida, right? And it's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to spend $5,000 on a ticket, or I'm going to spend $5,000 on a week down in Tampa. I'm going to go enjoy myself. Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many people that do that in Edmonton. Like I know like probably 10 guys that do that January road trip with the
Well, of
with
course
the
they
Oilers
do,
every year.
because it's like minus 30 in the middle of January.
Well, and you're
Edmonton.
getting out. Yeah, you're getting to
Yeah.
California too. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan. Anyway,
They
good.
plan their year around it. It's
Thanks
awesome.
for doing this. Appreciate it. Great to
That was
see
a
you.
fun one today. I'm glad we decided to do this.
Just rip through it. We had a couple things to get to. You know, I haven't had a good show this week. Actually, I don't even think we did a show this week. This is our first.
No, we were supposed to on Tuesday, and then I freaked out. I'm a loser dog owner. Did I tell you that story? I'll tell you that story, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, and then we'll go. Did you say you called me this week? That's right. You canceled one of our podcasts because you told me your dog swallowed a tennis ball.
Nick,
Here.
I swear to God, I'll tell you what happened. So I get off the air at work, and I come home, and I take Kingston out for a walk right away. We go for a walk in the morning, and we go for a walk at night every day. And so we have our roots around the neighborhood, and there's a school field up here, and I will play fetch with him, but fetch is not fetch with my dog. Fetch is I'm gonna get the 2 or 3 balls that dad has in his bag, and then I'm gonna try to keep them away from him. Right? That's our game, right? And so I threw this tennis ball, and I whipped it pretty good, and he was running at it, and he hit it. And he came running back, and the ball was gone. And the thing with him is if it goes off his nose or whatever, he'll go chase it and he'll bring it back. And then he'll drop it for me to throw the second one, and then he'll grab the damn ball and run and go get the other one, right? Like I said.
Is your dog
But
an
he
idiot?
never
Did you get an idiot dog? Is that what you got?
He's not the smartest. I love him.
Your dog sounds like a moron.
He's not a good fetcher. So anyway, he comes running back, and he hasn't got the tennis ball. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I walk up there, and I spent 15 minutes wandering around that field looking for the ball. And it's not only that, it's a green tennis ball, and it's snow. There's snow everywhere. Like, it should be sitting right there. And I'm like, son of a bitch, he swallowed it. And I remember when he went after it, it looked like it went right in. So I thought he was bringing it back. And not only that, he kind of was choking a little bit. He was like, when he came over to me. So I'm like, shit, he swallowed a tennis ball. So I went home, and I got on the thing, and they're like, yeah, your dog can swallow a tennis ball. Blah, blah, blah. Not good. They can't digest it. It'll cause problems. You got to get him to a vet right away.
Really smart idea to Google WebMD dogs and tennis balls while you're panicking.
Son of a bitch. I was freaking out. Well, you talked to me. I phoned you, and I was.
Yeah, you freaked out. You panicked.
I was scared.
Just swallowed a tennis ball, and I'm like, I got to take him to the doctor, and I can't do a podcast today. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Stick your dog in. I'm serious. Like, I think he did the whole thing, and I'm like, fuck, did he?
Well, you were laughing.
I was dying
laughing right away.
I was laughing at your misery.
So anyway, I went to the vet, and he was really good. And we sat down in the room, and he did an examination, and he's looking at me, and I could tell he's just like, man, it is really rare. He says dogs do some crazy stuff, and we've had to open dogs, or we've had to go in and get stuff out of dogs. Dogs are crazy. But your dog is not. He doesn't eat this. I'm like, no, he doesn't eat. So I think it just went right in. And he's like, listen, I'll tell you what, if these couple of things happen over the next couple of days, bring them back. We'll go in, we'll get that ball out of there, because we have to. If he did swallow it, we have to get rid of it. And because it can cause some problems, vomiting, that kind of stuff, right? They actually tell you not to use the hydrogen peroxide if he does swallow something big, because if it comes out, if he does start to puke it up, it'll get caught in his airways and could choke him. So that's what they do say about some things. If your dog eats something, but it's not like, if it's not big like that, you can get them to puke by getting them to drink hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
So anyway,
exciting.
The exploratory surgeries, Saucy Seawitch is right. They're intense, right? So they don't want to do it. So he's like, go home, monitor, and I'm like, I'm stressed right out. Like, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, you sounded like a child on the phone.
I don't know what to do. I'm going to take my dog. I can't do a podcast.
So anyway,
very stressed.
He goes, you should go back to the field and look. And I'm like, okay, I will. But I looked everywhere. I couldn't find that fucking ball. So I dropped the dog off at home. I go back to the field, and I started walking the field. I'm like, I'm going to walk this whole field twice. And I did laps right across from fence to fence, and I zigzagged like 5-10 feet across, right, like this.
Can you mind giving me just a little more detail of how you canvass this park? Just
the point being is where I threw the ball and where I found the fucking ball, because I found it.
Oh, okay.
Was literally 70 feet away from where the ball hit him. It must have hit him in the teeth or something. And it was like this way. It was a weird direction from where So I don't know what the fuck happened, but it was literally way the fuck over. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It was 50, 60, 70 feet away from where he was.
Thank you. That was the more detail I was looking for. How far away?
Stressed me out. I ruined my fucking day.
How much did it cost you to get the answer I gave you on the phone?
$115.
There you go. Probably didn't swallow it,
115.
Loch.
I know, but I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm glad I went though, because now we have a vet. Because I found a nice, like a good, like he's a great guy, right? They were
That's exciting.
really good with him. So
Good for you. I'm really happy for you. Good to see you.
I'm that loser pet owner.
Oh, I
I've
know.
become that loser pet owner.
I know. I've seen it.
And yes, he has jackets and boots, and
He's got booties. Your doggy's got booties.
fucking.
Does he got
that,
jackets?
That wasn't me. That was the wife. I didn't.
Are they fashionable booties and coats too? Little
Oh, and he
jackets?
hates them. You should see him walking in them. He's just like.
I think that's abusive to dogs. Actually, tell your wife I said that.
She fucking makes me put them on if it's minus 10 or lower. He's got to wear his booties.
You know he's an animal, right?
He is part of the family.
Wow. Animals are supposed to go. Whatever. Good to see you. Talk to you soon.
That was a good one. We'll see
All
you
right,
next week, brother.
You bet. Lock and Cross, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. The longest story with the most insignificant detail you will ever listen to in your life. It's amazing. I love the guy. He's one of the most successful radio hosts in this country. He's been drinking. It happens. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget, you can get everything we do at crier.co, the home of the Dean Blundell Show, as well as the Charles Adler podcast. You can download and subscribe all of our podcasts there. YouTube as well, Crier Media YouTube account. You can go to the Dean Blundell Show YouTube account. You can watch all these shows live. Listener, yes, you can watch all these shows live. And really appreciate everybody for taking time for us today. Don't forget everything we do. Again, crier.co. Thanks to our partners at Cantork for making this possible. Makers of torque wrenches, the best ones in the world. They manufacture in Canada for heavy machinery industries like the nuclear industry, railroad industry, forestry industry, big time mechanics, like, the shit that you put together in the oil sands on those massive trucks. They make bolting solution torque wrenches for people that don't have any, and they're the best in the world at it. They do it for industry across the world. Doesn't matter if it's in Dubai or in your backyard. If you're in Fort McMurray, they do it all. Go to cantork.com today. Again, Colin Livingston's my friend. He's the principal there. You can go to cantork.com today and check him out. And, of course, Ed's Fine Imports. We're brought to you by Gitch. You can get them at edsfineimports.com. Promo code GITCH3 when you check out. He'll send you a free pair when you order 3 or more. The most breathable luxury underwear on the planet. I wear them every day. So can you. And I send them to people because I'm like, you got to try these things. You got to wear these things. I have not had one person go, these are awful. They all say the same thing. That's it. I threw out all my other underwear, and now I'm just going to get these underwear. Boxer briefs, pouch in the front, bunch of different colors, made for everyday performance. You can run around in them. You can lay in them. You can sleep in them. Doesn't matter. And they're moisture wicking. They got the pouch that just sits with everything just right in there. It's like a push-up bra for your junk. Check him out today. Go to edsfineimports.com. He's got a full online store. And you get 15% off when you give him your email address. And he doesn't spam you as well. So you get 15% off on top of a free pair of underwear. The best underwear in the world. Gitch, GITCH3 is your promo code. Pump it in and you'll get a free pair on the way out. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Again, I've said it like 4 times. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Bye.